to you. We've seen the footage of this. It's really incredible. A group of men storming into this place, some of them, it seems, with hammers or something, banging on windows, breaking windscreens. Do we know at this stage why they did it?
Well, first of all, Stephen, those scenes that you saw in that video that was circulating on social media, where you saw about 40 men storming the car dealership behind me, is something that you'd ordinarily see in a movie. I'm just going to briefly move out of shot, Stephen, so that my colleague can just zoom in and show you the toy shop car dealership. Let me tell you, Stephen, inside there are your Ferraris, your luxury high-end vehicles, which I would never be able to afford at this stage. But I mean, I just walked in, Stephen, and just had a brief conversation with who we understand is management here. They are not speaking to any media at this stage, Stephen, and they were telling us that, you know, their lips are tied in as far as being able to divulge and talk to us about any information regarding the incident that took place. But what we do know is that the 10 men that were arrested on Friday evening, the first group of the men who appeared in court this morning, the first group was arrested on Friday evening, and then the second group was arrested on Saturday. So when they appeared in court this morning, Stephen, we could hear some of the convictions that they have. Some of them are convicted for murder, some of them convicted for rape and robbery. It's a group of 8 men, Stephen, but when they stormed this particular car dealership, reports suggest that there were about 40 of those suspects, but subsequently police arrested on Friday evening and on Saturday this past weekend about 10 of them, and they appeared this morning at the Cape Town Magistrates Court. And like I said, they already have previous convictions, some for murder, some for robbery, and some for rape. And of course, what they face now are charges of business robbery, because when they stormed this car dealership, Stephen, they started trashing all those high-end vehicles, those luxury cars behind me. They started immediately trashing all of them. The motive is still unknown, although the police have said that they won't rule out extortion as a motive for this particular incident. We understand that the owner of the toy shop car dealership behind me had previously hired a security company that is affiliated with controversial businessman and alleged underworld kingpin Nafiz Modak. Although Modak has distanced himself from this particular incident, we do know that he is somewhere, somehow linked to what has transpired here last month in February, where these men just like literally stormed this car dealership. And so the case will be heard again, Stephen, on the 8th of March, which is next week Monday, where there will be a formal bail application. Now let me tell you, in the Western Cape, particularly in the city of Cape Town, in your Long Street, your daytime restaurants as well as your nightclubs have been largely infiltrated by gangs that have been allegedly forcing these business owners to pay extortion fees, your protection fees, so to speak, demanding fees of about 20,000 Rand a month for protection. And so it's not only been happening in the city of Cape Town, in the CBD, but we've also seen the advent of this extortion racket in the townships as well, where black businesses are also being targeted to forcefully pay protection fees. And we know that police in the Western Cape have tried to gather their resources to particularly deal with this extortion racket, Stephen.
Artie, it's an incredible story. I mean, it goes to all sorts of dynamics that are occurring in the Western Cape at the moment, and particularly in that Cape Town area. Is there more security around that car dealership now?
When we drove in, Stephen, we saw 2 armed security personnel, and I can tell you, it looks quite tense, so to speak. And I mean, following that incident, they would obviously try to ramp up their security. So with regards to security, it's interesting that you mention it, because the security company that was previously used by this toy shop dealership company was actually affiliated with Nafiz Modak. Nafiz Modak, like I said, is a very controversial businessman in Cape Town. He's an alleged underworld kingpin. He's been linked to many extortion cases in the Western Cape, which he's denied so many times. But of course, you do have actually security that is stationed outside this car dealership. They're keeping a close eye. These are very, very expensive vehicles. I walked into the car dealership and I looked at some of the vehicles, your red Ferraris, your Porsches. They still have evidently smashed windows. Some of them have not been fixed at this stage. They're still parked in there with those smashed windows.
I imagine it's because they want to keep them as evidence. Artyom Tungana, thanks very much indeed for that update. Just the most amazing story.